I was taking Washington history in 8th grade, and we start studying Native American history. Not so much Washington history. We're studying the plains, and so my mother came aware that we were doing that, and she said, "Well, do you know that you are the great great great?" And she started a niece of Chief Seattle, that we're related. So then I just sort of in passing told my teacher. And my gosh, the next thing I knew, they had me out at the University of Washington, took my picture in front of this teepee at the Burt Museum, and got my picture in the paper. It was like a big event. And I was sort of not so much proud of that event. I was sort of embarrassed, because in the 50s, 40s, it wasn't fashionable to be Indian, you know?
At the end of the Green Duwamish River system is the Duwamish River. It is home to Seattle's port and industrial businesses, while providing fishing and recreational resources, also serving as a migration corridor for fish like salmon and trout. The river is located in the city of Seattle, Washington, where the mouth forms the estuary that flows fresh water from the Duwamish into the saltwater of Elliott Bay. But what you see before you now is not how it used to be. Picture a meandering river, carved by the retreating glacier that covered the Puget Sound thousands of centuries ago. A river that supported a diverse ecosystem of fertile floodplains and tide flats. A river utilized by the first people of the land for transportation, fishing, and harvesting. Where longhouses, canoe landings, and gathering sites dotted its banks. This was the sight to be seen when European-American settlers arrived in the area in 1850. They were greeted and welcomed by Chief Sealth, leader of the Duwamish and Suquamish tribes. During the early years of the settlement, Chief Sealth and the Duwamish people made sure to protect and help the immigrants, sharing skills and striving to live peacefully alongside the newcomers. On January 22, 1855, Chief Sealth signed the Point Elliott Treaty along with 81 other tribal leaders and Territorial Governor Isaac Stevens. This treaty was an agreement between the United States government and the Puget Sound tribes that guaranteed hunting rights, fishing rights, and reservations to all the tribes represented by the signed leaders. Chief Sealth's mark comes second to Governor Stevens' signature.
What they wanted to do is sign treaties and allow people from the east to come over here and settle. And so that's why the treaty, and we signed a treaty in 1854 or 55, and we agreed, our people, our chief and our sub-chiefs agreed with it. And of course, they didn't speak Losuchi, and we didn't speak English. I'm talking about but they agreed to sign the treaty, or agreed to it. They didn't sign it, they were like that. And we gave up 54,000 acres, but they promised us a reservation, health, education, money, and everything. We didn't get nothing. Today we own 2/3 of an acre. This is it.
2/3 of an acre compared to the 54,000 the Duwamish people once called home. As many as 94 longhouses and 17 villages were burned and destroyed to displace the Duwamish, made worse through the dredging and shortening of the river beginning around 1913. The meandering river that provided bountiful resources to the indigenous people of Seattle was transformed by human engineering to create a navigable waterway. Today, that 2/3 of an acre, at the mouth of the Duwamish River, sits the Duwamish Longhouse and Cultural Center. The center opened in 2009, decades after the last longhouse was burned to the ground. It symbolizes the perseverance of the Duwamish tribe, who have yet to see their rights, outlined in the Point Elliott Treaty, granted. The Duwamish were given federal recognition by the Clinton administration back in 2001, only to find out 48 hours later that the incoming administration suspended the order, and in September of 2001, A final notice of a determination stated that tribal status was denied. Cecile Hansen, chairwoman of the Duwamish tribe since being elected in 1975, continues to lead the fight for justice.
Know that we do have a history. These are Chief Seattle's people, and they even named a city from our chief. So, and as I say, we're still here, and now we have a home. This gets very emotional for me because it's tough to realize that we've been treated so badly, and but we're persistent to change what has happened to this tribe. If you don't fight for your rights, you might as well just go home and have tea.